What's going on, guys? Boz and Alex here, CrossFit Diehard. This video is a hodgepodge of years of recording clips for people that are new. So you're gonna see several years of Alex and myself demonstrating this stuff to you, but it's time to add some new stuff, so here we go. Welcome to Diehard. Hope you find this stuff helpful. What's up, guys? Boz and Alex here, CrossFit Diehard. We're going to go over a few things for a lot of the new members here and a refresher for some of the old ones. We got a lot of things that go on that we don't always talk about right away. So we're gonna kind of go over those and let you know what we have to offer, as well as a couple gym rules. First gym rule we're gonna talk about is no dropping the empty barbell from overhead, from shoulder, from waist. When you have an empty barbell, we're just gonna go ahead, set it down nicely on the ground. We got all this rubber flooring and rubber bumpers. Whenever you have rubber on the bar, you can drop it, but if you have the little change plates and you have or just the empty bar, no dropping, please set it down. That goes for the dumbbells and kettlebells too. They get bent up and broken real easy, so whenever you do a dumbbell snatch or dumbbell overhead, make sure to set them down. Same thing with the kettlebells. Please don't drop them from overhead, lower them, set them down, whatever you need to do. All right, next thing we're gonna do is talk about dropping the bar with 10-pound plates on it or less. We already have the video dropping the empty bar to know we never do that. We always set it down. We're gonna ask that when you have only 10 pounds on the bar, that instead of taking it from overhead and just dropping it like that, because you see what it does here, it ruins the plates. What we're gonna ask you to do is if you're using 10s on things, like maybe shoulder to overhead or even cleans, just kind of set the 10s down so they don't break, so we can keep them nice as long as possible. If you have 15s, 25s, and up, go ahead, feel free to drop it, all good. Next thing, if there is ring muscle ups in the workout and you know that you are not planning on doing ring muscle ups today, we're gonna ask that you don't set your bar or your equipment, let's say it's kettlebell swings or power cleans, whatever it is, if you don't plan to use one of the 3 sets of rings on the outside of the rig, don't set your equipment up underneath of it. Let somebody that is gonna use that underneath of it. That way you guys don't have to do it in the middle of the workout. So if you're not using one of the set of the rings, you don't wanna set your equipment up underneath of it, because then in the middle of the workout, somebody's gonna be switching and we don't want anyone getting kicked or anything. So set your equipment up anywhere else other than there. That way someone who is gonna use the rings can put their equipment right there and we save maximum space. All right, so we're gonna talk about lifting in the rig and where to put your plates. See this all the time. I see it out of people who are beginners and people that have been here for 5+ years as well. So what you'll see right here, we've got a bar set up. We could be doing front squats, back squats, presses, anything. We have right now weights sitting underneath of it. This is a no-no, okay? We don't want to be here doing a front squat and have this here, because we don't want it to hit the weights and jump back in us. Now I knew it was coming and I only had 65 pounds on it, but if it was a heavy fail and I dropped it there because I just had weights sitting there, it could come up, hit my shins and you know, doesn't feel very good. So we're gonna make sure that when we're lifting out of the rig, that we have our weights either here out of the way or way back here, so that it's not anywhere underneath of our lifting area. This also is gonna apply when we're doing cleans and snatches, especially out in the middle of the floor. So if I have gotten some weights out and I'm here and I've got a weight right in front of me and I'm gonna do a snatch and then I go to step over, that's not very safe. So we wanna make sure that also they're not, you know, you're here and then you drop it and then maybe you drop it there and it shoots off and hits someone, okay? So the main point is cleans and snatches in the middle of the floor, any kind of movement in the rig. We don't want any extra plates underneath where you could possibly drop it and hit yourself or have your barbell run to hit someone else. All right, guys, so next thing, whenever we're using the rig, so whether we're doing squats or presses or front squats or jerks, whatever it is that we're doing from the rig, a lot of times when you're just getting started or if you have some kind of injury, a lot of times that you will be doing something different or scaled or modified for you, right? And a lot of times it's out here on the floor. We want to make sure if somebody is squatting in this area, and really even if they aren't, if the rig is being used for squats and things like that, the last thing that you want to do if you're using a bar or a kettlebell or dumbbells on the floor, the last thing you want to do is if someone has set up their squat bar right here, to set up right here and work, this is no good, right? Because then they're going to be coming out of the rig here, this is going to be there, it's just no good. So you're going to want to make sure that you set up on the opposite lane here. Give everybody plenty of space so that they don't back into you unknowingly and you don't hit them unknowingly. This goes for dumbbells, kettlebells, anything as well. You don't want it anywhere where someone could possibly have to bail or anything, any of this area. All right guys, next we're going to talk about jump ropes. So we have these really nice RPM jump ropes, but when you take them outside, they get eaten up and chewed up by the asphalt like this. So we ask that if it's one of our jump ropes, whether they're the ones over here or on that wall, no matter what it is, please make sure you only jump with it on black mat. So don't go outside and jump. We do now have the black mats that are outside. Depending on when you're watching this, the weather just turned a little cool, so it's going to be cooler out there. If it's crowded inside or whatnot, we do our best to lay everything out correctly, but if you wanted to go outside, there is room on the black mats to jump, but please don't jump on the asphalt because it destroys the jump ropes. T-shirt challenge is next. We have the CrossFit Diehard Forged T-shirt challenge. This can either be a goal to earn the shirt for you, or you can look at it as a list of goals. You can find sheets back in the back by the shirt poster or with your coach as well.
All right, from there we're going to touch on Member of the Year. It's attendance-based only. So we're going to start off December 1st. It goes all the way to November 31st. And we'll give that member their plaque with their name and photo on it. It's going to be hung in the gym. But we'll mention who Member of the Year is at our Christmas party. So it's just something motivating to help compete, drives you to make sure you're here as much as possible. That way your name and your photo is proudly hung in the gym right next to our beautiful Arnold photo. Would you like to touch anything else on our Member of the Year?
Yeah, there's no, the maximum score for this is 365, and that would be if you came to the gym every single day. Last thing we're going to talk about is putting away and wiping down equipment. We have the Clorox wipes all over the gyms, and a lot of times they're up in front by the Kill Cliff fridge in the front desk. A lot of times there's one back by the wall balls or back on the shelf by the sleds. If you sweat on it, please wipe it off. If you get an inordinate amount of chalk on it, like the kettlebells or the barbells, please wipe it off, especially in the summertime. We got our lovely assault bikes and rowers, and we sweat a lot on those. If you get on those, please wipe off all your sweat. We do that several times a week anyway, but you know it's hot, it's humid, we're all sweating, so please make sure to do that. Bands on the pull-up rig, make sure that when you're done stretching your hips or your shoulders or whatnot, or doing your pull-ups or whatever, don't just leave it there. And then also want to touch on the detachable pull-up bars. We find those on the rig all the time. If you get one of those out, please put it away. That way people don't walk around and hit their heads on it. For the chalk buckets, we have the aprons or whatever you want to call them on there. It helps kind of keep the gym clean. We do try and keep a pretty clean gym, and while still letting you use as much chalk as you want. We do ask that you don't take chunks of chalk out and just throw it on the floor or take it over somewhere else. I know sometimes that can be annoying, but it really does help keep the gym clean, and you can use as much chalk as you want. And I know that sometimes we take those off when it gets super hot out and it's in the rig, that's fine, but we don't want blocks of just chunked up chalk all throughout the gym. So if you could do your best to keep it in the bucket, we would appreciate it. All right, so we already talked about wiping off your dumbbells and kettlebells before you get it put away, but we have these nice little tags all here to keep the dumbbells and kettlebells separate and organized. When you come in and you're done with your workout, please try and make sure that it goes back under the proper weight. That way someone can find it there next time. Also, you kind of see they're in here nicely. If you come back in and put your dumbbell, it didn't work out. It's supposed to be straight. Like, that's not a good way to put your dumbbells away. Just kind of make sure we try and keep it clean, so try and make sure you put it back the way you found it. All right, guys, so getting equipment in and out, we're going to talk about the wall balls here. Jose did an awesome job lining them all up and made them look super nice. The way we store the wall balls is heaviest on top to lightest on the bottom. So we got a 40, 30s, 20s, 20s, 14s, 10s, 8s. So when you're doing it, do your best to get your heaviest wall balls up top, lighter ones down in the bottom. People ask all the time when they first start, where are the collars, where are the clips? Our collars stay right here. And guys, we have these metal cinch ones here. We have the metal ones like this that go here, and we have the plastic ones right here. We should never have a situation that looks like this. Last thing is the change plates. People ask when they start wearing those, 2.5s and 5s. We keep our 2.5s and our 5-pound plates right here next to the barbells on the wall. Next up is the retail sheet, the retail area. We've got protein hats, t-shirts, tank tops, all the drinks in the cooler, headbands right now, stickers, anything you want. All you have to do is take here, write your name, write what you got and what the date. This sheet is empty because we just filled up one. But be as specific as possible and try to make it legible so that we don't have to text, the whole group and find out who it was. So write your name. If you got a Kill Cliff. If you got a coffee. If you got a bag of protein or a protein water, don't just write protein because we have several different. We have protein bars, protein drinks. Just write large bag protein or write protein recovery water. Just be specific so we know what it is. But write it down and it's going to go off with your next month's bill. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is the blue chairs. We kind of talked about this when we got them, but want to make sure that you go after class. It's coming to the summertime now. You go, you sit down, you're covered in sweat, and then you get up. We've been finding a lot of pools of sweat and just nasty chalk prints in there. Please make sure that if you do happen to sit down in the chairs after you're done working out and you're all sweaty, please wipe them out. Be a courtesy to the next person coming. Nobody wants to sit in the pools of your sweat. Next thing we're going to talk about is punctuality. We did get rid of the late burpees to avoid speeding through the parking lot, which has been awesome. Everyone's done a great job not speeding through the parking lot, hitting the dogs, that are out there. But we're having some, 10 minutes, 15 minutes late to class. That's not okay. Just because there's late burpees doesn't mean you don't need to be here on time. When we start the warm up, we do right away going over and briefing the workout. And if your coach has spent 3 or 4 or 5 minutes briefing the workout, then we go do group warm up. If you show up late, you can jump into class, that's fine. But you might have to ask a partner or a nice friend to explain it to you if you're not sure what's going on, because we're not going to re-explain the whole thing that we just did. So we do start on time. We want you to be here on time, and it just helps the flow of class better. But please and thank you for not speeding in the parking lot. The next thing we're going to talk about is equipment and putting your equipment away. This applies to both classes and supplemental work. So, we're here to help each other and everything, but when you're done with class, after everybody's finishing the workout, we need you to put everything you got out away. If you got out a pull-up bar, please put the pull-up bar away. If you use the box for push-ups, don't just leave that box out, assuming someone else is going to leave it. Put it away. If you're doing supplemental work back in the back, if you get a little whiteboard out and write your personal workout on it, we need you to put that whiteboard away. If you get separate equipment out for that, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that when you do it, you get it put away for us for the next class.
All right, we're going to talk about no one left behind. It's kind of like an old military saying that you're never going to leave your partner behind. Same thing goes for our CrossFit community. If you see that there's still someone left and doing the workout, we do not want people to put away their equipment. Instead, go stand around that person, cheer them on, help motivate them to complete that WOD. All right, we just don't want members putting away their equipment. It just makes the people still working out could be a little demoralizing. So instead of doing that, let's pick them up. That's what makes CrossFit and our community so strong.
Nothing worse than being face deep in a set of burpees and seeing someone you just worked out with drive by, chilling out, music up. AC on, yeah. Nothing worse than that. So no one's done till everyone is. All right, guys, we're gonna go over pull-up bar etiquette right now. A couple things. We're doing pull-ups or toes to bar, and then the scale for those sometimes is ring rows, right? These rings are super easy to move. They're also super easy to go one way or the other. So if you have two people doing ring rows here, you got one person who wants to lean back and do it this way, while someone's doing pull-ups here, and this person wants to lean back this way. It's not gonna work. Take a look at where you are, look around, see who's doing pull-ups where, see if you couldn't lean back one way or the other. If you both did need to lean back on ring rows the same way, just grab these here. That way I can lean back this way at the same time this person could lean back this way. Okay, that's for ring rows. Now let's talk about pull-ups, toes to bar, sharing the bar, etc. I know you guys all like these rough spiel bars. That's why we made all of the bars that way pretty much, okay? If you didn't know, every single one of these back bars, the entire length of the rig, we strip the powder coating off and it is just like the spiel bar. So you can do your pull-ups here, your toes to bar facing this way, you can do this way on these back bars here. But I know everybody has their favorite pull-up bar, so let's talk about it. Okay, we have this station right here is always crowded. You have this one, and this one. These bars are wide enough for two people to be on at the same time. You'll actually notice these bars in the back have the same width. It has a divider so that two people can go on the same time. So that can happen here. If two of you that want this bar, you know two want, don't jump right in the middle of the bar. Come over here in the middle so two people can go at once. The other way to look at it too is, let's say you know there's a person there, and here. If you're on this bar right here, or that bar, and you know someone wants to go right here, but you start doing toes to bar right here, they're not going to be able to do it. So you would want to jump up here and do toes to bar right here, like this. That person could also do toes to bar. And then these two people, if there was two or even one, could all do their movements there as well. It's just, we want to be considerate of everyone. Just kind of take a look around and see what's going on. Know that these are super popular spots to be, so make sure that you're doing the most you can to maximize the space for everybody. All right, next up is sharing the space that we have here. So we're a class-based gym, and the classes take priority with the equipment and the space, but we also love and encourage when people stick around afterwards and do extra stuff and work on weaknesses and do extra workouts. That being said, everyone needs to communicate with everyone else and make sure that everyone stays safe as far as where the equipment was placed and everything like that. So if you're someone that's doing extra work, you have to keep in mind what's going on in the class and set up kind of somewhere out of the way. In if you're someone that's doing extra work, kind of keep in mind what's going on in the class workout that you just did, and kind of set up in a little bit of an area that's out of the way based on the size or spacing of the class going on. And if you're in a class and someone else is doing extra stuff, make sure that you guys communicate with one another. It's not a normal gym where like everyone has headphones in and you can't talk to anyone. Like, everyone here is pretty friendly and nice and wants to share space and get a great workout in. So if you see someone and you're thinking of setting your stuff up in that kind of area, make sure that you are communicating and say, hey, do you mind if I set up here? Hey, can we work together in this space? Hey, can we do this so that, we don't each hit each other, or, that we don't run into one another, that everyone has space, or, maybe just take a step back, look at the gym and see where the open space is, and then kind of spread out to make sure that that works out for everybody. So the main thing is communication and letting someone know. It's a very dynamic gym. We're doing, movements that are explosive and take up some space. So just make sure that if you're putting something close to where someone's already working, whether it's in a class or extra work, that they see you and that they know you're there and that you guys have talked about it. That way everybody is safe and not running into someone that they didn't know was there.